Hey guys, welcome to my lactic acid fermentation experiment video. So today we're going to be fermenting some green cabbage. So I have here my materials. I have green cabbage, red cabbage, um, some baking soda and white vinegar, cups, and we're going to be fermenting the green cabbage, but for the red cabbage, we're going to be using that as the pH indicator. That's what the baking soda and the vinegar is for, but that's for later steps. But most importantly, we also have like a sort of this is the nearest size I could find, close to the quart size, but it's like a mason jar with the lid on top. So a quick overview, we're just going to be taking the green cabbage real quick, and I'm going to be chopping it up. Well, we're going to be removing it, cleaning it up, chopping it up into pieces, put it in cups, and yeah, we'll go from there. So the first step, we're going to be taking our green cabbage. We're going to be washing it, removing the outer parts. Next, after we're done washing it, removing the outer pieces, preparing the cabbage, we're going to be chopping it up into 4/4, and I have that done already here. As you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. After we cut up the pieces cut into 4/4 and we cut the core, we're going to be shredding or grating by hand. And after that, we're going to be basically filling them into 4 cups and putting some salt into them. Okay, so I started shredding and just kind of cutting it up into uniform pieces. This is what I have here so far. As you can see, yeah, they look like about right, but I have here about, yeah, it's a Pyrex measuring cup. So we're gonna measure out 4 cups of cabbage, and we're going to, you know, measure out 4 cups firmly packed cabbage, and we're gonna add some salt. So, yeah. Okay, so as we wait for the cabbage, the green cabbage, to prepare our purple or red cabbage extract, which will serve as our pH indicator, we're going to be just chopping up 2 cups of the purple cabbage, and then we're going to be adding 2 cups of water and just boil it and let it simmer for 25 minutes. So I have here, I already had it set up right here. As you can see, it's in the pan, and maybe a little ambitious with fitting it into the saucepan, but it's gonna shrink. But we're just gonna heat it up for 25 minutes. All right, guys. So we're back after the 25 minutes. So after we let this simmer, it there's some, obviously the cabbage is still there, but then we use sort of a filter to filter it out to get the solution of what's left. So I have here, after I drained it, it's like the purple solution, as you can see. So this will serve as our purple cabbage or pH indicator solution. And as a quick to simplify it, so we're going to be taking some of the cabbage juice that we have now that I've let there sit for about 2 hours before we start packaging into the jar. We're going to test it with the pH solution, and then we're also going to test it again after, I think, around week 11. We're going to test it again after we let it ferment for a while. But the point of the baking soda and the vinegar and water, they will serve as our references or our controls for a certain pH level. As we know, baking soda is a base, vinegar serves our acid, and water is pH 7. So they serve as our points of reference. But for now, what I'm going to do is we're going to check back on the cabbage. We're going to get we'll save like a little tablespoon of cabbage juice, and then we're gonna start doing the fun part, which is really packaging it into the quart jar. So I took a tablespoon of the current cabbage juice that we have. It's in there, as you can see. And next we're gonna start packing this jar about 2/3 of it full, and then we're gonna use like a water gallon, or not water gallon, excuse me, like a Ziploc bag filled with water, and then sort of kind of as like a weight on top of it to like sort of compress it, and then we're gonna put some oil to really fill in the gaps. So the idea of this is to really max and optimize the amount of oxygen we're removing from this container. So that's the whole point of this. But I have my quart jar. I'm gonna label it my first and last name, Jason Liu. As you can see, Jason Liu. That's gonna go right here. And then we're just gonna start packing it up. So once we pack it, we put a bag of water to really compress it, and we drizzle some oil. This is the final product. As you can see, that's what I have. So what'd you call it? Oh yeah, I'm using a big jar, so it is, but this is 4 cups of cabbage, but this jar is huge, so it is supposed to be 2/3, but it's not really looking like it. But this is the only reason why is because this jar is huge, but I follow the instructions and the procedure. But nonetheless, this is the final result that we have, and yeah, we're gonna let this sit. I put the foil under it, I capped it, and I'm excited to look forward to watching any fermentation. But that really concludes the cabbage setup experiment video. So thank you guys for watching, and hopefully that we get some nice results in a couple of weeks.